Hello students. Yesterday we have discussed about the cyclotron and there we have seen its working principle and all the knowledge about that. So I think student that is now clear. So let's just discuss the rest of the things about this chapter. Only 2 or 3 topics we have to discuss more, but that is really very important topic, as here we are just talking about the uh, flow of current, or you can say that the magnetic effect of current, means which kind of impact any moving charge carrier can produce in magnetic field. We are just discussing that thing here. So in that behavior we have discussed, whenever a charge carrier that will move in uniform magnetic field, then it will experience a force that is known as Lorentz force. Later we have seen the direction or the motion of the charge carrier, like it will do linear motion, helical motion or circular motion, and what is the circumstances for that it will do that, and later its applications we have seen. Now the rest next topic that I'm going to take, that is also very important topic, and it is force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Means now we are not talking about a particular charge. If suppose we are taking a current carrying conductor, means current is moving already here, we are talking about the large number of charges that are moving here. So if current any conductor, that if we will put that in magnetic field, then what kind of impact will be there on that current carrying conductor. So experimentally you can also see that, just take some strong magnet, and after that take some wire or current carrying conductor, and just to join it in, or you can say that you can connect with it battery to it, so such that if this is the magnet that I am taking here, this is known as Hodgson magnet. So here in this magnetic field we have the direction of the magnet, that here north direction, and this is south direction of the magnet that we have taken. Now current carrying conductor that I have taken, and let's just hang this current carrying conductor in such a way, then its end is between these two poles of the magnet. And now suppose this is the A end of this and this is B end, then connect its two ends to a battery, so the help of some wire. So if we will connect it with the help of some battery, suppose here negative terminal and this is positive terminal we have, sorry students, and let's just connect it to this point A here. So now you can see that the circuit is completed for this current carrying conductor. Then obviously a current will flow due to this battery, and the direction of current is I. So in this way I current is flowing. So here first thing we have taken, that is a current carrying conductor. So this conductor is carrying a current I, and if this current is flowing through it and we have kept this in magnetic field, then we are seeing that whenever current is start to flow through this conductor, and if we have kept this in this magnetic field, and here north south direction we have just maintained it in this way, then this conductor deflects in right side of its direction. Means if you will see its direction in this way, then it will deflect in right side. And if we will reverse this polarity of this magnet, then it start to deflect in left side. So it means that normally you have seen, if there is no presence of this magnetic field or magnet, then there is no deflection in this current carrying conductor we are getting. But when we put it into the magnetic field, then that time due to this magnetic field, this start to feel deflection. So this is the deflection that it is feeling. Obviously it will be due to the some force that it is experiencing there. So due to that force it will deflect either in left side or right side. Then simple thing is that whenever we will put a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, whether the current is steady or varying, for that it will feel always deflection, or it will experience a force due to that magnetic field. And cause of that, you can just understand by the same thing like we have discussed before. Whenever a charge carrier that enters in magnetic field, then it experience a force that is known as Lorentz force, and the value of force is given by F is equal to Q V cross B. Means if the magnetic field due to this magnet is B, and if the charge particle that is entering with some speed V, and it has charge Q, then that time it will experience this force waves whenever it will enter in magnetic field. So as here current is flowing, and current is flows due to flow of charges, so it means that number of charges that are moving in magnetic field. So this is just like the case that we have discussed before. Here a large number of moving charges we have, and due to movement of that charges in magnetic field, all charges will experience this force here, and due to the experience of that force in a particular direction, it will deflect in that direction. And you know already, you can find out the direction of deflection or direction of force that the conductor is experiencing by using Fleming's left hand rule. So according to Fleming's left hand rule, this is in this way you can see that this is our three fingers, in which all these three fingers are at 90-degree angle. Means if this is the direction of magnetic field, and whenever any current carrying conductor, or you can say that if some charge that enters at perpendicular angle to it, then that time a force that is in perpendicular directions to it, so that force will be along this direction. So here that is special cases I am just going to talk here. Whenever the movement of the charges that is in perpendicular direction to the magnetic field, then that time it experiences a force that is perpendicular to both of the vectors, means the magnetic field and also the velocity vector. It is perpendicular to that one. Means the deflection in conductor that will be in perpendicular direction to these two. So let's just see what is the value of the force that is experienced by the current carrying conductor when we put it into magnetic field. So I think the cause behind the deflection in current carrying conductor, that is now clear. So for the derivation of the formula, let us suppose that we have a conductor that is this kind of conductor we have, that has some length small l, and this has the cross sectional area that is capital A. So now this is conductor, suppose PQ conductor we have taken, and the length of this one is L. Now here we have just put this conductor in magnetic field, and that magnetic field is in perpendicular direction to the axis of this conductor here. So this is the axis of the conductor, and this magnetic field is perpendicular, and we have connected this conductor with some external battery, and due to that the flow of electrons or flow of charges in this conductor, that is from this end to this end. So this is the flow of current, direction of the flow of current. It means that you know that whenever you will create some potential at these two ends, and suppose these two ends are, this is y dash, this is y, and at these two ends if we will create some potential difference, then due to that these charge carrier that are present in the conductor, they will start to drift from one end to another end. And we have already studied the concept of drift velocity, and due to that how the current is producing in conductor, that all things we have discussed in current electricity chapter before. So it means that if suppose here positive potential is created here, negative is here, then electrons will diffract from this end to this end. So this is the direction of the drifting of the electron. it means that the velocity, if that is, obviously you know that electron has drift velocity. So suppose Vd velocity it has, so direction of Vd will be along the direction of the electrons, and direction of current that will be opposite to this. So this is the direction of current we have. Now these two things that we have taken, means we have taken a current carrying conductor in which I current is flowing due to drifting of electrons from Y to Y dash, and we have kept this whole of the conductor in a magnetic field, and the direction of drifting of electron that is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Means in a single word you can say that a charge carrier or number of charge carrier that are entering in magnetic field at perpendicular angle, or simple you can say that it is just entering at some in some way when this Vd and B that is making angle equal to 90 degree. So for this particular case we know that whenever this will move in this way, then the force experienced by the particle or charge particles here, that will be also in perpendicular direction to these both, and that force is given by F is equal to Q V cross P. So here V is Vd and this is B magnetic field, and as electrons carry the charge minus E, so we can write here F is equal to minus E Vd cross B. Clear? So this is the force experienced by one electron when it will start to move with this velocity in this perpendicular magnetic field B that is present here. Now let's see what will be the direction of force that it will experience, and due to that force it will this charge carrying conductor will start to deflect. So for that case obviously you know that it will experience a Lorentz force whenever any charge particle that will enter in magnetic field. So due to this force that is experienced by every electron or suppose n number of electrons we have, so total force that is experienced, suppose this is small f, so total force that is experienced by the total number of n number of electrons, so this will be nf. So this can be written as minus ne Vd cross B. So this is the final force that is experienced by this whole of the conductor that we have taken, and this force, the direction of force will be perpendicular to both magnetic field and this velocity vector. Means if this is along the y, this is along the z, then this will be along the this direction, means x-axis. So we can just show this by this one. So this is this axis, perpendicular axis that I am talking about. So this is the direction of force that is perpendicular to both these two vectors that we have. So first I think the cause behind the force that is experienced by the conductor, that is very clear. I think since last 4 days we are just discussing the same thing here, so there should not be any confusion. Now let's derive the formula for the force that is experienced by the conductor in the known terms that we have. So as suppose we have a small number of electrons, small n is number of electrons per unit volume here. So we can write small n is equal to number of electrons per unit volume. So total number of electrons we have capital N, and this is V. It means we can just calculate the value of total number of electrons, so that will be equal to small n into V, and V can be written as A into L. So NaL, this is the value of the number of electrons that we have in the conductor. So let's just put in our expression that we have just written before. So in that expression F was N minus N into E, just write down it, Vd cross B. So here in place of N, let's write here small n A L E, and this is Vd cross B. Clear? I think there is now no confusion. And now if you will see the direction of line element in this one, Means line element, you know that is along the direction of the current. So in this equation the line element can be given by the expression that is I into L into Vd. If you will see that one, so minus L into Vd, that can be written as equal to L into Vd here. So sorry, this expression you can just write here. If we have a current element that we have selected, that is this IL, this is the current element vector that is along the current that we have got here. So as you can see that current direction is along y dash to y, and this element that is representing current element vector. So for this current element vector we can see that this L and Vd that are in opposite direction. Means if these two vectors are in opposite direction, then for these two vectors we can write this thing, that is L into Vd, vector Vd, that is will be equal to negative times that will be equal to vector L into Vd. Means we can just here denote by these vectors in this way. As you know that already from the vector property, whenever two vectors that are opposite to each other, means one vector is in this direction and second vector is in this direction, this is vector B, this is vector A. So this is the vector property due to which we can write vector A into B, this is equal to minus of vector B into A. So this is a property of vector that we know already, and I am just using that property here. Means the length and vector element for this velocity or drift velocity is equal to this one, by using this concept of the vector algebra here. So as now I think you have understood why I have used this one. So here by using this concept you can multiply L inside this one. So you can just put L here. So L into Vd, by this concept you can write is that is equal to minus L of Vd. Means you can just take current element as a vector and Vd as a scalar here. So it means that this expression can be represented by NaE. L into Vd, at this place I am going to write L vector L Vd cross B here. So just let rub it. Now you can see from here this will be F is equal to negative, you can take as a minus Vd as a common. So finally you can have NaE Vd and here L cross B. Clear? I think there is now no confusion in this section. So as this whole section, if you will see this circle part, so this is the current flowing due to the drifting of electrons with some velocity Vd. That section we have discussed already in current electricity. So the current that is flowing, or relation between current and drift velocity, there we have derived it. I is equal to NEA Vd. So this is the current value of the current that is flowing in our conductor. So it means that in place of this circle part we can write the here current. So this will be I current that is flowing in our conductor here. This is L, this is B. So this is the force experienced by any charge current carrying conductor when we put it into a magnetic field B. And if current is flowing through the conductor is I, and the this is the length or current element whole, actually you can say that this IL that is representing the current element or direction of current in which the current is flowing obviously. So it means that this force that is experienced by the conductor, that will also be perpendicular to both magnetic field and the current carrying element here, just like the concept we have discussed before for the charge conductor. Means if any charge that is entering at perpendicular angle to the magnetic field or perpendicular direction to the magnetic field, then that time it will experience a force that is also perpendicular to both vector. So here the same thing is that if any current carrying conductor that is carrying current over the length L, means if this is current element, so if this current element is perpendicular to this magnetic field, then the charge carrying conductor will experience also a force that will be perpendicular to both these two. Clear? I think there is now no confusion. If you will expand this formula, then we can get ILB sine theta, where theta is the angle between the current element and magnetic field. Means if suppose always the current carrying conductor or current element is not perpendicular to magnetic field, if it is at any arbitrary angle, then what is the value of force that it is experienced by it? So this will be the value of force. Suppose it is just at 30-degree angle, means if we hold the conductor at 30-degree angle to the magnetic field, then what kind of force it will experience, and the direction you can easily find out by using Fleming's left hand rule. Clear, I think? Or you can also use right hand palm rule there to find out the direction of the force. So just like there, we can also have some special cases here, like there for the charge that is entering in field at arbitrary angle, or at perpendicular angle, or at along the actually magnetic field, then what kind of force it will experience. Means when the force is zero, when the force is maximum, that kind of things we can also discuss here. So here from this formula, first case, if you will take theta is equal to 0 or 180, means if our charge carrying conductor that is along the magnetic field, like if this is the direction of magnetic field, and we are also just putting our charge carrying conductor in the same direction in this way, means parallel to this field or anti-parallel to this field, then that time the force that will be experienced by it, you can just calculate it. Sin 0 is also 0, sin 180 is 0. It means that the force experienced by the conductor will be 0. Means if we want to just keep any current carrying conductor in magnetic field, and we don't want it it should experience any kind of force, then we can just keep it parallel or anti-parallel to the magnetic field there. Second case, if we are just putting the charge carrying conductor perpendicular to the magnetic field, means theta is 90 here. Now means we are just putting our charge carrying conductor in this way. So this is our conductor, and with the magnetic field we have just kept it into the at 90-degree angle. So for this particular case, sin 90 will be 1. So and F will be equal to ILB. So this is the maximum force that is experienced by the particle whenever we will put it at this angle here. So this is maximum force, or if you want that charge carrying conductor should experience the maximum force, or you just want to utilize this property of charge conductor that it acquires when we will put it into the magnetic field. So for that case, you should put it into theta is equal to 90 degree. For that case, you can acquire the more movement of the charge conductor in magnetic field. The third case, that is the arbitrary case, means we can just keep the charge carrying conductor at any angle that we want here. At this angle you can just put. So it means that for that case you can calculate just the value of force experienced by it by this formula there. And the direction I have just told you, you can find out by using right hand palm rule or Fleming's left hand rule, in the same way that we have used before in the case of force experienced by a charge, moving charges that is entering in the magnetic field. Now let's see some numerical problem based on this formula that we have just discussed. So a question is given to us: a wire of length small l carries a current I along the x-axis. So a field that is given to us, the value of field is B is equal to some B0 I plus Z plus P. Tesla exists in space, and then find the magnitude of the magnetic force on the wire. So here it is given in our question. We have a wire that has length small l, and we just that carries a current I, and its direction is along x-axis. So here the direction of current element is given to us, that is along the x-axis. It means that the direction of current element is given to us, and we know that whenever we will put any charge carrying conductor in magnetic field, then it will experience a force, and we have to find out what will be the magnitude of that force. So as this force is given by I L cross B here. So as the direction of L is along x-axis, then we can just write down now I here. This is L I cap, because it is along the x-axis only. This one it will have some magnitude, and this one we can write and cross. In the place of B, just write down the value that is given, B0. This is I plus J plus K here. Now we can take outside IL B0. This we can take outside. So finally here this will be I cross I plus J plus K. Now let's just take the distributive things here. So for that case, F is equal to IL B0 so ILB0, just sorry, here we can write down first. Let's see that this is I cross I, then plus we can write down I cross J plus I cross K here. Distribute here this term over this whole of the bracket term here. Now you can just write down the values here. As you know that I cross I means whenever the two vectors that are in the same direction and we are there taking their cross product, then by the formula that is A cross B, that is AB sine theta, means angle between that two is 0, then for that case it is also 0. So here this term will be 0. Second term I cross J. So you know that I and J means two directions that are perpendicular to each other. So for that case we are getting some next to direction, that is K direction here. So I cross J is equal to K. I cross K, this is equal to, you know that, minus of J. So I think now I don't have to just explain again the vector things here. You know that how can we find out I cross J, J cross K, K cross I, or I cross K. Some kind of things you have already understood in class 11. So here this value finally we are getting. So this is equal to ILB0, and this is final K minus J here. So this is the value of force that we have got here, but in our question it is given to find out the magnitude of that force. So to find out the magnitude, let's just calculate what will be the magnitude of force. And you know that magnitude of force is calculated by their components. If this component, suppose if F is written in the form of Fxi plus Fyj plus Fzk, then we can write down its magnitude as Fx square plus Fy square plus Fz square. So let's just utilize this formula here. So as in this case you will see then Fx is here we can see that we don't have any value of Fx, so Fx is 0. So this one is 0 plus Fy means the value component of this force along the yz direction. So here it is along the minus y direction. So and if you will take the component, then this will be minus ILB0. So as minus IL B0, its square is equal to I square L square B0 square plus Fz, means the component of force along the z direction. So this is the component of force. This is I square L square B0 square. Now if you will solve it, then this is obtained root 2 times I, L and B0. So this is the value of force that we will obtain when some kind of magnetic field is present for the current element. So in the such way you can find out easily any kind of force and its magnitude, its directions for the cases that we have discussed from the topic of whenever a charge is moving in magnetic field. So the numericals are just like the same, you can just calculate it. So in next class we will take some more numericals on these kind of forces. So why I actually, that's why I didn't just show any kind of numerical, because after this topic we have a lot of things like for the charge, for the current carrying conductor. So let's just solve the numerical in next class, and also just discuss the concept of force that is experienced by two parallel wires that have, we are just keeping them to parallel or anti-parallel to each other. So let's just see that condition in next class.